Careers expert Laurel McLeay joins me now. Laurel, good morning.
Good morning. Happy birthday,
Thank
Paul.
you very much, and happy birthday for you for the other day. Okay, so the last time we were talking, it was about younger people. You know, how do you advise a 16, 17-year-old, or even younger than that? And basically, executive summary, we said don't box yourself in, get a good general education. We're moving to the 20s now. So here are your tips in terms of career advice. Number one, OE versus no OE.
Well, I think what we've got to think about is what's the definition of an OE? Because a lot of people do it, they're around about 25, they've done a couple of years postgraduate work and they go off. But there are things we call hybrid OEs, like you might just decide to go for 6 weeks, 3 months intensive, or someone I was talking to last week.
Isn't that just a holiday?
Well, it depends what you do on it though, isn't it? You know, I mean, if you're going to go and actually work in a moshav or something like that, that's giving you experience.
I sort of have an issue with that though, because the whole thing about the OE is you don't have a return date. It's open-ended. And I think as soon as you have a return date, it sort of changes the experience a bit.
Well, I think what happens is I used to be a recruiter and I'd get these people coming back in their late 20s from having done this amazing open-ended OE.
Yeah.
And they'd be working in really amazing banks and wonderful places in London. They'd come back and they couldn't even get a job as an accounts payable person, you know. So I kind of think, yes, I get that wonderful freedom of no return ticket, but imagine the security of coming back knowing you've got a role to come back to.
Having said that, there's a lot of benefit in getting out after you've been in the education system for a long time. So what's your recommendation, sort of a micro OE?
Well, I think either or. It just depends on your personality. But it's just like some people count it off. They go become the career person, they get into a graduate role of some description, and then they never do it. So I just think it's about fitting it in when you can.
Right. Okay, number two, doing what you love versus doing what others think you should do.
Think about the person who goes to Lincoln because there's an expectation that he's going to take over the family farm, you know, and they go to Lincoln and they do their ag stuff and they actually realise it's pretty boring.
Yep.
So I think there's still a sense of obligation from not only what your parents do, but also there's occupations like law and accountants. There's now a number of accountants and legal graduates who haven't got jobs to go to because the landscape's changing so much.
Yeah. Okay, so be aware of the changing landscape and don't get too serious too early would be right, wouldn't it?
Well, that's right. I think personally, my 20s, I worked for a year as a spider dressing up in front of school children, and that was fantastic.
That stood you in very good stead.
Didn't it?
Yeah, whenever
Yes.
anyone calls, I hear them say, you know, we need a spider, and always your name comes up. All right, networking. Finally, networking advice. It is important. By the time you get to your sort of 20s, it's a good idea to be building a network.
And I think people in their 20s find it excruciating. There's that whole kind of cringe, contrived element of connecting with people. But what you've got to remember is when people are networking, everyone's feeling as uncomfortable as you are. I don't care what they say. And so if you adopt a host mentality, two things. Adopt a host mentality, and so look at serving other people and follow up. No point getting business cards when you're not going to do anything about them.
Brilliant. Laurel, thank you very much.
You,
Careers
Paul.
expert Laurel McLeay.